Stitch and Paigey. We're a Stitch and family. We are telling you about our new walk that we signed up for. The new walk is For Lupus. So we finally gotten all of our information. We've been looking into this. Careful. Okay, just leave this. We've been looking into this for a little while because the Lupus walk is only in Ajax. I believe it's once every year or once every couple years. Sorry, once every couple years, I believe it is. It might be even less frequent than that. But the Lupus walk is near and dear to our heart because my brother-in-law lost his battle to lupus 2 years ago now. And he did suffer with lupus for 11 years. Just a second, Paigey. So we are doing the walk in memory of Austin's brother, Joey. And what are we going to call our team name?
Uncle Joey.
Team Uncle Joey. Paigey's picked the team name. So it's our team is Team Uncle Joey. And all the kids are going to be walking with us and lots of family members. We're very excited to do the walk, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, in memory of Uncle Joey, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. So the walk is on June 1st. It's at the lake in Ajax. And I believe it starts at 9 a.m. I gotta double check it, but I will post the link for our team group as well in the description below. And when I share this on Facebook, I will share the team page as well on there. If anybody is interested in joining the team, by all means, there is an option that you can join the team. There is not a minimum amount that we need to donate in order to do the walk. I've just set a goal of $1,000 for our team, but it's not something that is mandatory for this walk. But to raise funds for lupus, for more lupus awareness, it's great. I find it is one of the charities that isn't talked about enough. It's something that I have looked into more since Joey's passing because I didn't know what lupus was. I didn't even have an understanding of what the disease was. So I printed off some stuff regarding lupus just to kind of give more of a description of the disease itself and more of an awareness video as well. It is a disease that is very difficult to diagnose. It is something that is kind of diagnosed by process of elimination, so it's not something that is normally diagnosed right off the bat, even if you do have the symptoms of lupus. It's something that is kind of the last resort diagnosis, so it's not... It is something that needs to be talked more about, and spreading the awareness of lupus is a great cause, and like I said, near and dear to our hearts, so we wanted to get the word out there. And if anybody is interested in joining the walk with us and joining our team, I will again post the link below and also on my Facebook page if anybody is interested in even getting more information. If you'd like to start your own team, even by all means, or even just do the walk alone. You can sign up as a walker. So for adults, it's $10 to register. Any children under 12 is free to register. And you can, through the link that I share, you can either sign up yourself and be a walker by yourself, or you can join our team, or you can also donate to our team as well on there if you're unable to walk that day. But it is June 1st at the lake in Ajax, and I'm pretty sure it's 9 a.m. is the start of the walk. So I'll double check that time, but I will also post the link below for all the information as well. So lupus is an autoimmune disease, which every time I hear that word, I think I don't fully understand what an autoimmune disease is, because there's a lot of diseases that are classified as autoimmune diseases. So in layman's term, an autoimmune disease is when your body's defense system turns on you. So when your system is supposed to be fighting off these diseases, it's not. It's allowing these diseases to come into your system and affect your system. So the immune system is designed to fight illnesses, infection, and disease to protect the body and maintain good health. When the immune system is compromised in a condition such as lupus, it works differently. Rather than protecting the body from unwanted problems, the immune system begins to attack the patient's bodily organs and tissues. It is a dangerous and often debilitating problem that many live with each day. Lupus is treatable, but there is no cure for lupus. And one of the major problems with lupus is how difficult it is to diagnose. So like I stated before, lupus is very difficult to diagnose. It is not easy for medical professionals to diagnose this health issue because it presents as many other health problems. Many of the signs and symptoms a patient experiences with lupus appear very similar to other health problems, so it often takes time to diagnose. It is done most often by process of elimination. This autoimmune disease is rarely diagnosed during an initial appointment or even soon after a patient begins experiencing health problems. Most common lupus symptoms and risk factors. So, cases of lupus can range from relatively mild to life-threatening. So, recognizing and treating this condition early is very important. These were actually printed from a US site, so this doesn't give us our Canadian statistics, but it kind of gives us a kind of an average of how many people are diagnosed with this. So according to lupus.org, as many as 1.5 million Americans are living with lupus, making it a widespread problem. And I printed off a list of 15 symptoms and risk factors that need to be paid attention to, that should require medical attention and talking to a doctor regarding this. So these are some symptoms that could potentially be symptoms of lupus. So if anybody is having these, definitely consult your doctor. So number 1 is fatigue. Fatigue is very common. The symptom of lupus makes it difficult to distinguish from other disorders, including chronic fatigue syndrome and even Lyme disease. According to healthline.com, about 90% of lupus sufferers will experience fatigue. Hair loss. Hair loss can occur because of the inflammation caused by lupus. Hair often becomes a casualty, notes the Mayo Clinic. The face and scalp are usually targets of skin inflammation related to the disease. This means aside from losing hair from the top of your head, you can even experience eyebrows and beard loss. The hair loss can be subtle and gradual, or it can cause hair to fall out in clumps in some cases. Pain is a marker. Lupus can come with painful, swollen joints that may confuse some medical professionals to consider arthritis as the cause. With lupus-related joint pain, apparently the stiffness is worse in the morning. The pain itself starts off mild, then increases as the disease progresses. Healthline notes that over-the-counter pain medications can help reduce pain and swelling, although doctors can likely offer a better treatment plan if that doesn't help. However, as mentioned before, the doctor first has to ensure it's lupus you're dealing with. Lupus can cause seizures. Like other disease, epilepsy, lupus can trigger seizures in the sufferer. In fact, information about lupus-induced seizures is posted on the Epilepsy Foundation website. According to the foundation, up to 50% of lupus sufferers experience a seizure as a result of the disease. Other neurological complications related to lupus can include strokes, dementia, psychosis, and peripheral neuropathy, weakness or numbness in hands or feet. There's often a telltale rash. While many symptoms of lupus tend to be in common with other autoimmune diseases, there's one that seems to stand out for lupus on its own. That's a butterfly-shaped rash that appears across the face. So if a lot of people of you don't know, the butterfly is actually the lupus symbol, which this now makes sense to me because I didn't know what the butterfly symbolized, so this makes sense now. So these are called cutaneous, sorry, I'm not pronouncing this right, lupus lesions according to the lupus.org, and the rash appears when lupus is active. Rashes associated with the disease can appear elsewhere on the body, which can be made worse with sun exposure or even from sources of artificial light. Raynaud's disease. The National Research Center on Lupus by the Lupus Foundation of America claims that nearly 1/3 of people will also suffer from Raynaud's disease. Raynaud's is a cardiovascular condition where the blood vessels contract, restricting the blood flow in the hands or feet or both. Oftentimes, the extremities that are affected by this phenomenon will turn red, blue, or purple. It affects people differently, where one person may feel numb or a tingling feeling and others may experience slight pain. To avoid triggering of Raynaud's, it is advised that people with this condition avoid sudden temperature changes and wear mittens and warm socks or footwear in the colder months. Depression. Mental illness and chronic disease often go hand in hand. 60% of people with a chronic illness will experience clinical depression at some point during their diagnosis. This is due to the emotional, physical, and financial strain of living with a chronic illness. Lupus is a condition that comes and goes, which can frustrate a lot of patients because they never really feel like they're out of the woods and long for the life they used to have. The Lupus Foundation of America notes patients may have feelings of helplessness, sadness, insomnia, or sleeping too much. However, feelings of depression may not be brought on by the disease. This is hard to read. Genetics can play a role. Although it's not a high percentage, lupus explains that you have about 5 to 13%. This is so hard to read, to know that so many people go through this and they're not diagnosed properly. "5 to 13% chance of developing the disease if you have relatives with it. The higher number seems to indicate a solid link to family health history." Photosensitivity. While catching some rays does have its benefits, such as vitamin D, it can actually trigger a lupus flare. 2/3 of people with lupus are UV light sensitive. This can be cause for concern considering prolonged exposure to UV light. Other infections. Because lupus is an autoimmune disease, any form of infection can directly be caused by lupus, and it could bring on a lupus flare. Since the body is already fighting off an infection, it may persist to fight against itself even once the infection is no longer present in the body. For individuals fighting with lupus, fighting an infection is a lot more difficult than for someone without lupus, and fighting any type of infection puts a strain and weakness on the immune system, allowing for a flare to occur. Age and race. Unfortunately, there are some risk factors that are out of control when it comes to developing lupus. Although lupus affects people of all ages, it's most often diagnosed between the ages of 15 and 45. The source also explains that race plays a role. Apparently, if you're of African American, Asian American, or Hispanic descent, your risk goes up even more. Also, being female increases the risk dramatically. Hormones play a role. Females are much more susceptible to lupus because of an estrogen link. While estrogen is present in men, it's much more abundant in women. Women with lupus have more severe symptoms before menstrual periods or before pregnancy. When estrogen production is high, however, there is no evidence to suggest estrogen causes lupus directly, and studies of women taking estrogen in the form of birth control or postmenopausal therapy have shown no increase in significant disease. Joint stiffness. Johns Hopkins Lupus Center explains there can be co-occurring symptoms associated with lupus, including stiffness of the joints, especially in the morning. This is sometimes caused with arthritis, so it's important for a doctor to make the distinction. The source says taking a warm shower may provide some relief for the stiffness, and your doctor may prescribe some medications to relieve inflammation, including non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs or recommended over-the-counter pain medication. Weight changes. The same source also notes that weight gain or weight loss without diet or lifestyle factors involved can be a sign of a bigger problem, including lupus. In the case of weight loss, it may be from the lupus activity itself, and certain medications can cause a loss of appetite, it explains. In the later case, the other medications such as cortisoids can cause weight gain, it adds. However, it's important to achieve a healthy weight, especially when you have lupus, because women aged 35 to 44 with the disease are 50 more times likely to suffer a heart attack than the average. Light to moderate exercise can also help you to maintain a healthy weight and cardiovascular system while also boosting your mood. There's so many symptoms that can just go undiagnosed. So sorry, this is hard to read all of this and take in what my brother-in-law went through, and so many other people go through. So yeah, this is definitely something that is near and dear to our heart. And if anybody else would like to do this walk with us, by all means, check out the link below. Or if you'd even like to donate to our team, I will put the link below that you can either donate or join a team, or even just join the walk yourself if you wanted to. Yeah, there's so many different things that you just wouldn't associate it with an autoimmune disease. You would never even think that this could be something. So if any of these symptoms you do have or experience, I mean, it's worth getting checked out. This was definitely educational for me to be able to look up this, because I didn't really have an understanding of the disease and what it all entails. So it's hard to read, but it's the education is needed, and it needs to be more. We need to be more aware of these, because this is something that it's not talked about, and it's not. I do see it going on the rise more, with more education and more awareness being brought, but it's not something that is shared more so than other causes that are out there. So hopefully the awareness will be on the rise for lupus, because it is something that is under talked about. So I hope you guys like this video. It's a real video. Can't get any realer than this. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. As always, my handles are at the bottom. On Connect, Stitch and Lindy, and on Facebook, my Facebook page is Stitch and Lindy's Weight Loss Journey. If anybody is interested in joining the team, please let me know. I can help you guys. If anybody needs help with registering or any other information, just let me know. Send me a message, and I can get any information that you'd like. I am looking into having team shirts made as well, so anybody that wants to be on our team, we are looking into having that done as well. But registering for the actual walk itself, again, it's free for kids under 12, and for adults it's $10 a person. So it's not a huge registration fee at all, and it goes to lupus awareness. So keep spreading the word. Again, if anybody has any questions or would like to join the team, or if you would just like to donate, I've got the link below in the description, as well as I will post the link to our team page on my Facebook group as well. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a great week.